trying to appease the natural forces of earthquakes and storms and hurricanes and avalanches and the rest of it, and floods. That evolved then to a kind of a philosophy and ideology of a wider kind of spiritual notion that somehow we were distinct from all other species. And if you see yourself as just a distinct, not a species, but as created independently of all other species, the temptation to exploit is immense.
Mm-hmm. Well, once again, I think we'd have to take a look at the various religions. You look at Taoism, and the Taoists see themselves in a flow with everything else, and one of the highest places to be in that system is to be invisible or to be transparent. You know, so that's someone who totally flows with nature, and you know, you could call that maybe a pantheistic nature religion.
What's interesting is Taoism is not the religion that created capitalism.
No. That's a materialistic.
Exactly. You need this very specific kind of religion to create an economic system like the one we have.
Right. Well, even the difference between the Muslims and the Christians, I don't really know that much about the tradition economically, but I know that there's a very different way of looking at interest. I don't remember whether they can't create interest.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, and there's a unification in that. That underlying has an underlying unification where you shouldn't be able to repress your neighbor or get better than your neighbor.
Yeah, I think that certain religions, and I don't think Islam is one of those, which is one that promotes a materialistic, consumer-based lifestyle. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, just the opposite.
Right. Well, you know, I think materialism and is the one that's the biggie, and you know, there's like organized religions, but there are also aspects that are not religions that people utilize as religions. I mean, they're talking about the singularity as religions, and people are saying, oh, the singularity isn't a religion. Other people are saying it is. But if we look at, rather than these socialized entities, we look at the core belief system that we utilize to function in the world, and we call that, we can call it a core belief, but it acts as a religion, because for a highly religious person, their religion is going to be that core belief. So maybe if we take it out of the context of organized religions and just look at it as a functionary that we all have.
Yeah. I mean, well, maybe what you're getting at, and I think there's a large element of truth, is that so-called dividing line between religious and secular is illusory.
Yeah.
Is that they bleed over.
Mm-hmm.
And religious ideas, if you look at them deeply, bleed over into secular life as well. So it's very hard to think of a wall that can separate the exchange of those going on. And if there's not a kind of an equilibrium there, you're going to have conflict.
Yeah.
And we're in an age where there is disequilibrium right around the world, where religious and secular aspects of life are out of sync with one another.
Well, they're out of sync on many different levels, because just definitionally, what you're calling religious or secular is going to change radically between different cultures and even different individuals. And it's very difficult to come up with definitions that we can all agree on at this point, unless we are stuck in some kind of system where we're both Mormons, so we know this, or we're both this, and so we have those things. And that's one of the unifying factors that works in religion as well as in the scientific paradigm. You know, the scientist, I'm a reductionist materialist, and that's my religion. Well, I can't see that as anything other than another belief system, another religion. Whether it translates into the material world or not, it's still a belief system that I create myself through.
It's interesting still how frightening ideas can be. Like, wasn't the American in North Korea who was arrested because he wanted to give away a Bible? It's as if the whole system would fall apart if he gave that Bible to someone in North Korea. That this particular book could destroy the whole edifice that they have there. Now we look at that as a kind of, what kind of deep-seated insecurities and anxieties do these people have that a Bible could have that kind of impact on a whole political, social, and economic system?
Well, that's pretty much historical, though. I mean, there are certain countries you might get killed in right now if you have a Bible or a Quran, or it's like we're talking about belief systems, and they could be artifacts from the religious, or they could be artifacts that are non-religious, actually.
Again, I'll beat this dead horse one more time, and it's on tribalism. Is that really the hallmark of tribalism is intolerance. Intolerance to outside points of view or beliefs or dogma that are threatening, challenging, or contradicting what your tribe believes in. If you believe that your tribe was by God granted land, then you will do everything to keep that land.
Sure.
I mean, that's your title. The title came from a divine being.
Right. Well, either that or, say, as in terms of Israel, it came from the United States.
Yeah, well, which is another divine being, right?
That's the other divine. Yeah. But that's both true, but it's not written in stone, as I see it, because things do evolve, so that belief systems can change, and there can, I mean, we were at war with the Japanese or the Germans, they were the bad guys. Now we're hanging